Hi everyone, my name is Holly Conley and I want to talk to you about doing a learning community for Accounting 1 and Excel Level 1. Now, I currently teach Accounting 1, so that's where my expertise comes from. And I'm going to partner with Evie Zarafos to take her expertise in Excel. So I would teach Accounting 1, she would teach Excel Level 1. When we look at the individual classes, Accounting 1 is going to take students from the beginning it's going to teach them the basic journal entries. It's going to teach them how to look at and prepare financial statements. It's going to teach them how to close the financial period and get ready for the next one. It's going to teach them about depreciation, writing off accounts that you don't get paid for, where they learn about payroll, they learn about how to protect assets by having strong internal controls. So for accounting majors, there's a lot of benefits that Excel could use, or that Excel could lend itself to. So for Excel, the Excel class is teaching our students to be proficient in Excel. And actually in our class, their final exam actually gives them a certification. They become Microsoft certified in Excel. So having the extra practice in using the accounting scenarios allows students to get more comfortable. So when we're thinking about, like who could even be taking these courses, it's primarily business students. So that's who we would be serving. And if we look at most of our business programs, almost every program requires students to take Accounting 1 and 2, but because this is Accounting 1, it actually does hit every business program. Every business major, no matter what their actual major is required to take Accounting 1. And most of them, not every one of them, but the majority of them are also required to take Excel Level 1. So this course could definitely be one that you could promote to many business students. So we want to think about, why would it make sense for them? So when we're thinking about these two, they lend itself to each other pretty easily. And that's because, accounting can use Excel to make their jobs a little easier. And it helps with some of the different practices, which we'll get into. So let's look at next, how does it benefit them? And this is where we're going to see how they kind of tie together a little bit. When we think about accounting and tying it to what Excel can do, Excel is one of those programs that can make an accountant's life much easier. We can use it, especially when you think about, in the real world, a lot of times bigger companies are using accounting software, but not all companies can afford that accounting software. So a lot of smaller companies may use Excel for a lot of tracking purposes, analysis, and things like that. So one of the things we can do is easy payment tracking. We can link data from one place to another. Excel allows you to link one spreadsheet to another, or pull data from one place to another and make sure that you have the same information going from one spreadsheet to another. It's very good at formatting, and the functions of Excel is what will help save accountants a lot of time and effort. The other part is that it creates an efficiency because the students are able to learn how to use Excel, and they also learn how Excel can be beneficial in the accounting world. And when we think about that, we're talking about the job readiness. So when you talk to accounting or finance recruiters, they often ask students or recruits if they have competency in Excel, because it's a huge platform for accountants, and that's at any level. And one of the things we look at is we often see everyone says, yes, I know how to use Excel, but what level can use Excel? And with our class, while it may be called Excel Level 1, it's not a Level 1 class at all. It actually goes into quite a bit of detail, and if you can complete this course, it allows students to put that on their resume along with that certification. So it prepares them for the job readiness when they say, do you have experience? Yes, I do. And in addition, they had that certification they can put on their resume that backs it up even further. The other benefit is it's going to save time instead of having that manual math or manual analysis. And along with that, you have greater accuracy, because we all know as we add up sometimes we have numbers that we may add together. We add them twice, we get different numbers, right? Because we're humans, we make errors. Where a computer, it's going to do exactly what you tell it to do. So if you let the function add the numbers together or do a calculation, it's going to come up the same every single time. So it makes your accuracy a little bit better. Now let's talk about the other part of learning communities. While the two classes mesh well together, the other part is these can both be intense classes individually. But having that community where you're working together, you have the same group of students that are in both classes, they get a little more comfortable with each other faster, and that allows them to ask those questions that they might not usually ask. So those learning communities open the classroom up and allow students to tackle whatever problems they might be having without struggling so much in the beginning. The other thing is that the instructors work very closely together because we want our students to be successful in both the courses. So by having that close interaction, we are able to look to see who is struggling, and we can reach out and see, are they struggling in one class more than another? And if so, we can reach out and try to create some kind of tutoring session or some kind of interaction that the student is getting a better benefit because they do have two instructors that are working together with them. Now, the difficult part with the learning communities is, how do students even know it's out there? Well, for accounting and Excel, the best way is going to be, because accounting is a first semester course, so working closely with those advisors who do that initial advisement and making sure they understand how these classes are going to be linked together and how much it can benefit the students to take them together. Those are going to be the people that can really share that information with the students and getting them to sign up their first semester. Another way we can get the class out there is to advertise at the open house and let students know about all of our learning communities and why it can be helpful and how students can work together to be successful taking the learning communities. I know some programs have more than one learning community. So if you can get a student into one, they may want to take the next one. So that's what we try to encourage, is letting them know what the learning community is about and how it can be helpful to the student. And the last thing is just making sure that during our program advisement, we might have students that, even though Accounting 1 is a first semester class, they might not have had the math requirements, so they're coming to their program advisor. And since Excel is a second semester class, we can encourage them to take both of them together. So that's another way that it can be beneficial to them. All right, are there any questions? If so, here is our information and you can reach out to us. Holly Conley The email is hconley@dtcc.edu. My phone number in the office is 857-1771. And then along with that is Miss Evie Zarafos, her email and her phone number. We are happy to answer any questions you have about our learning community. Thank you.